flies are horrendous today, aren't they, buddy? Little man is just behaving himself perfectly, but every once in a while the flies get to be just too much. And a friend said she was trying a different absorbine that came in a white bottle and that it was working really well for her. So I got some and we tried it this morning and it did nothing. They could have cared less. The flies could have cared less about it. So they got a double dose. And then this afternoon I just used the yeller stuff in Piranha, and it works pretty well, but I swear to God they need to go through a dip tank in order for it to be the most effective. And we just stopped to talk to one of the local farmers, and that was nice. And he was a good boy and stood, and he actually walked up and touched the trailer that had the four-wheeler on it. So that was a good thing. And then when we turned around to come back out of there, instead of coming back and going around the puddle, he turned around in a way that made us have to go through the puddle. And he stopped in the middle, and I knew what the next thing was going to be. The next thing was going to be start pawing and then lie down in it. So we had to push on and keep going. And he hasn't been out in a few days, so it's kind of nice. Actually, just two. Working Trot. No, we are not turning around. Sorry about that. Momentary glitch in the filming. Let's working Trot. Little man, working Trot. Yes, you. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. He is shedding like a house on fire, getting rid of that summer coat, bringing in his winter coat. That's good because I think he'll be spending his winter in Minnesota as soon as Jenny and I get together on dates. This coming weekend I'll have time to take him to town. This last weekend we were going to be at the Silver Spurs All-Stars end of the year play day, and instead it rained. So Brennan and Katie were here. Brennan got to pick what to do for the day, and we went to Dumas and did a little shopping and came home, and he and Grandpa went and played in the indoor arena, and in general my knees bother me, but I will tell you, when we have weather coming through, the weather really bothers my knees. So Katie and I sat and crocheted at each other on Saturday afternoon. And she did some packing to get ready to go home on Sunday morning. Keep moving, son. I keep looking out there to see if there's any water in the playa, but there's enough grass out there that I would have to walk out there. And I'm not interested in doing that. The mud would be a bit too much. And we cannot go all the way around the ranch because the road on the east side would be way too muddy. And we rode this morning and just took a look at the road on the west side of this section, and it's terrible. Well, wonderful if you need the moisture, which we all do. We have have been in desperate need of moisture. Sorry, I had to knock a fly off the screen. It was driving me crazy. On the other hand, at least it wasn't biting anything. It's a lovely afternoon. Depending on who you are, it's shorts and t-shirts weather, or if you're me, it's long pants and a turtleneck. I just don't tolerate cold at all, so I asked my doctor what she thought it was, and she had the nerve to tell me it was because I'm getting older. Let's fly on, young man. Yep, I want to turn. What a good boy. And we can go right on down this road without any trouble at all till we get quite a ways down there, and then I make sure we're way over to the left because the badgers have been digging on the right. And you want to go right down the middle, I think that works just fine. As long as we have no traffic, we'll be all right. Yes, the bugs are back. And more hawks up ahead that are zooming around. Lots of hawks this time of year. They say farmers need to get busy and start harvesting that corn, because that's when their best hunting is. The last few years have been very strange planting times just because of the weather. Oh, there's a whole bunch of hawks off on the left side that are now heading over to the right side of the road. They've all been drinking out of puddles. I know, they're bugs. I'm sorry. Not a thing I can do about them, buddy. They're getting on me too. Oh my. You can see the big hawks coming up ahead of us. A lot of water in the ditches. Means there should be some standing water in our plant. And the hawks are up on the thermals again. And just kind of cruising around, enjoying themselves. Yeah, that would be where they were all drinking. Want to walk? And I am going to try to zoom in on the hawks. Except they're getting further and further away, so it's kind of hard to see. Well, it's time to come back to my horse. What do you think, little man? There have been times that I've seen as many as 25 or 30 birds on a thermal, and I'll see varieties of hawks. I've seen eagles and falcons, all kinds of birds of prey up on these thermals, all cruising at the same time. It is cool to watch. What's the trouble, baby? Whoa. Now, do you need to brush your nose? What do you need to do? All right, then walk on. No, we're not turning around. We're just walking on. Yes. Come here. He says, but the bugs are so awful. We're about to turn around and go back into the wind, and that will help with the bugs. That's working, Trot. Oh, there's a nice big hawk taking off. It's the little tiny bitey flies. No, it's okay. Yeah, they're kind of big, aren't they? They're a little bit scary. Let's walk. We are not going in there. Nope. Yes, that's a good boy. Yes, we're going to come around. Now, we're going into the wind. Let's working Trot. And he says, oh, this is way better because the bugs are blowing off of me. I'm hoping that I am blocking the wind some. Oh yeah, way better going into the wind, isn't it? So we try to always plan our trips off the ranch so that we're going with the wind to start with and then into the wind coming home. Unless it's winter and cold, in which case we do it the other way around. But it sure is quiet out here. There are no irrigation motors running. That's very rare. It's just a meadowlark. It's not a great big hawk. He says it's still kind of nervous stuff when you suddenly had those big hawks come up at you. Yes. Whoop, 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 Trot. Don't know what that was about. Of course, part of what we're dealing with right now at this time of year is not only grasshoppers jumping on them, but also crickets. Such a good boy. Let's walk. What a good boy. I'm going to try and slip my glove over the bottom of the camera. To block the wind. Alrighty. You ready to trot? Working, Trot. What a good boy. At this point, I would not ask him to stop and stand for any period of time because the bugs are so bad. Yep. Good boy. Nope. Keep it wide. We don't want to end up in the ditch. That's a good boy. What a good boy. Working, Trot. Steady, steady gait. That's what I'm after. It takes a lot of driving to get steady gaits. Lots of miles. We do lots of miles. Yes, Doodlebug. I don't. Doodlebug is rooting under my arm wanting to be petted. Yes, I love you. Last week when we were out riding, 4 of the dogs went after, all 4 of the dogs that were with us went after a rabbit. And it was Katie and Brennan's dog, Zazu, and Amy, and Nikki, and Tippy. And we kept hearing a squeaking, squeaking, and we kept thinking it was Zazu doing that while they were chasing the rabbit. Well, it happened again today, except Zazu wasn't here. So it turns out it's Nikki that squeaks while you're chasing a rabbit. I'm heading into the sun and into the wind. I am overdressed. I would much rather be overdressed than underdressed. Nope. Ouch. Sorry, flies are biting. And it hurts. Little monsters. There's a fly on my screen. It drives me crazy when they do that. No, we are not going over in the field. We would sink like a rock. Yes, we would. I'm going to pick it up a little bit. Trot, trot, trot. Good boy. I have indeed taught him to canter in harness because I don't want them to ever be afraid of it. But he has to learn that there are times to and times not to. The cotton over here, very, very pleased with the rain. supposed to only be in the 80s this week. That's a nice working trot. Don't lose it on me. Yep, when we get to the gate, we're going to work on a slow trot. Not until we get there. The place in the yard where we have the cones set up is underwater at the moment. Now I want a slow trot. Yep, with some impulsion. Nice and slow. The yearlings all have one stall that they can get into, the 4 of them. So they're happily there in front of a fan, which helps keep the bugs away. That's a very good boy. And where are we now? Yep, we walk from here in. Yeah, there are bugs on your face, huh? Get your head up, doesn't matter. And I'm watching flies all over the outside of his ear nets, which makes me very glad that he has them on. At least they're on the outside, buddy, instead of on the inside. Can you walk on a little bit? So we got in our 3-mile drive, but not the way we usually do. Watch the big rock. But it is not too wet to go around the trees. How about that? Little nasty bugs bite right through your clothes without even thinking about it. I swear to God, they have teeth about 2 feet long. Yeah, you're messing with my stump here. Come around. Now let's head back to the barn, please. That's a good boy. Yeah, we'll be right up on the driveway. We have lived here 19 years. 19 and a half. And in that period of time, I have managed to get 2 apples off of our apple trees. Total. That was one year when the birds weren't quite so active. Or it didn't freeze right after they blossomed. They do both. Good boy. You gonna walk through the puddle? He says, no, I'd rather go around it. Walk on. Somebody drove in the driveway and made some pretty hellacious tracks. I don't know who did that. Come along. And I'm going to end this video because I'm being swarmed by flies and don't want to be bitten. So everybody have a great day. Please subscribe and share and like our video. Have a great one, everybody.